here, and this is the Doug Show live over here on YouTube, of course. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. It's always good to double check. You never know what's going to happen with these live streams. We're going to answer some questions today. I'm going to ramble on about some things, this and that. I think I heard myself through here, so that's good. I just got back from a workout, so I'm feeling pretty slightly winded. But it's good to get some exercise in sort of in the middle of the day for me. A lot of times I'll start working, and if I don't make time for the workout, I'll keep working through the afternoon. Then I'm not feeling as sort of energetic, and I can't actually work as long. So I'll work for like a longer period, like all in one chunk, and then I'll end up in the afternoon sort of tired and not as effective. So I do like to work out during the day. We have Bomb on and Muhammad and Bonnie. What's going on? Thomas, everyone says it's good to go. Info Zone, thanks for hopping on. And if you are not on my email list, you should join. You can go to nichesiteproject.com, click the green button, enter your name and email address. A lot of times I announce these live sessions, probably like 90% of the time, not 100%, pretty close. And I send you all my templates. I send you links to interesting videos, interesting blog posts, and just some random stuff as well, especially on Fridays. It's kind of a roundup email. I'll let you know what I published on YouTube. Sometimes I have a podcast that came out that week, and I'll let you know about live streams as well. Sometimes I try and sell you stuff, but not always. Usually not. I don't try and sell you too much stuff, but a few things here and there. So throughout this session, I'll be doing a couple things. I'll be opening a couple packages, which I realized I forgot my opening device, my knife in the other room, but that's okay. One thing I just got in the mail, my wife picked up, was this formula pack. So this is formula, Find My Formula. They actually sort of personalize it. And these are the nootropics that I take. Luckily, I brought my water in here. I usually forget that. But I do have my trusty water, and I'm going to take, I think the Clarity formula is what I want because I'm going to be talking this afternoon. I have some other stuff going on. So here's the Clarity. This is often what I take when I am going to be talking, recording podcasts, or having meetings, stuff like that. So I'll take this now. It usually takes about 30 minutes to kick in for me. So you'll get the tail end of it, although I did have one of these earlier today. So bottoms up, everyone. And then I have another sort of interesting thing, which we'll get to in a second, but I'll be opening a package live here on the air, which is pretty fun. Or if you're catching the replay later, I appreciate you folks that do that. One thing that I will mention is I published a video this week, I think on Monday, about writing content for affiliate sites. And it is, some people identified this, it was a rebroadcast. It was a video that I published actually a couple years ago. It's timeless. But one thing is that I've gotten much more concise, not in these live streams, but more concise in my videos. So I hope that you've noticed that I don't ramble on as much in some of the more recent videos that I've published. So instead of a 15 or 25 minute video, you may get 8 minutes, but it moves much faster. I get to the point and I cut out a lot of the fluff. So I went back. This is sort of deep in my, I don't know what you call it. It's behind the curtain. This is behind the curtain. So I'm peeling back the curtain here, and I'm telling you, I saw a video that was performing okay. I think it got about a 37% retention rate, which means on average, the viewers of that video would watch 37% of it, which is not great. I think to have sort of I guess the benchmark is about 50%. You want people on average to watch over 50%. Because I ramble on in some of these older videos, many of them, I know people drop off. Also, I used to introduce myself right away, say my name, ask people to subscribe and do other kind of stuff. And I cut that out of the video. I told some small anecdotes, which I thought were sort of I thought it was like adding more texture to the video, but in reality, it was just delaying gratification and I didn't get to the point. So I edited out all that. I went from roughly like a 13-minute video to 6.5 minutes, cutting it roughly in half. So interesting enough, the view time went up quite a bit from a percentage standpoint. I'm not sure if the total sheer amount of time went up, but I edited out a lot of the fluff. I now get to the point. I don't do an introduction. You often lose people. I know YouTubers know this. You lose people in the first second if you're, talking about yourself for any length of time. Turns out viewers don't really care about that much right away. Later they might care, but not right away. So the reason why I'm bringing this all up is I sent an email out to my email list asking people to watch that video in its entirety and have some interaction with it. Comment on it if you're not subscribed to the channel, to subscribe to it and that sort of thing. So if you happen to see this video or you have a few minutes this week, head over there, watch it, watch the whole thing, get that watch time up and click on the like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, that sort of thing. So we'll see how it goes because I think the new video is much tighter. Again, I cut out a lot of the fluff. So I'm interested to see how it will do over time. And this is part of the continuous improvement that I'm trying to do. I sort of coasted, literally, I just coasted for a while, putting out videos that I wanted to put out. People enjoy them, but it really wasn't pulling in new folks. And it was, I wasn't intending on growing. I was just sustaining. So anyway, check out that video. I think it's much better. I will answer questions as we come through more questions here. And I see a lot of people are asking, but we do have segments for that, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to get to an exciting part here. So this is something new. I get a lot of pitch emails. So if people are wondering like, hey, Doug, should I start a YouTube channel? Should I do a podcast? I know a lot of people are obviously interested in affiliate marketing and stuff, but many folks want to branch out and do all three. Some people want to do a little combo, or maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe I'll do a YouTube channel, but I'm not really sure if I should do that or a blog. Maybe you're better on camera. Maybe you dig shooting video. Anyway, occasionally I get pitches. I get a lot of pitches, which is cool. I think I used to complain a little bit about all the emails I got, but people are paying attention. So that's a good thing. Anyway, someone sent me, they checked with me and I gave them my address. I have a P.O. box, which is listed in that email, that I keep talking about. And this company, Vice Props, which there's a link in the description, they were like, hey, we make props. We've worked with like movie studios and stuff. We wonder if you want to check out some of our props. Most of the time when I get a pitch that's not congruent with the things that I talk about, I'm like, nah, it's not a good match. No one cares. I get pitches for like makeup or some kind of hair care stuff, which obviously not a good fit for me. I can't even use the products, right? But this one I was like, oh, you know what? That's kind of interesting. So I'm opening up this package. Again, link in the description for Vice Props. And I think it's going to be fun. I can use these in videos. This is prop money, folks. It's in plastic right now, but let's open this up. And I think if people are just tuning in, they're going to think, Doug, you're going to the dark side here. Okay, got to open this up. Like I said, I forgot my knife. Oh, I see it over there. I think I can make do without it. But yes, so we have the sort of unconventional 50s. Looks good. It actually feels pretty good as well. So these are 50s. These are not super common. And it even has the little the bands, so I can wrap up the money, which is kind of funny. I guess the hundreds, it's 10,000 if you wrap it all up in the little thing. So I'll show these and then I'll talk about them again before the end. But look for these as props in future videos, so I can look like a total douchebag. And all right, I may have to get the knife here. And it'll be pretty funny, I think, to have this money around, because it's really not my style, nor, I mean, why would anyone have this much cash around? It's wrapped good. Kudos for the wrapping, Vice Props. So you can check out their stuff. It's relatively inexpensive. So if you want to pose and look like you have a lot of money too, you can do it as well. So look at all this. Yeah, I made it. I finally made it. Like, this is the kind of stuff you could do. And it actually looks, showing off the quality of the camera, although the lighting is super good on the inside there. But it even has the sort of mark right here. And it says, I mean, it looks like it's real and it feels pretty darn real, but it says, everything's a mirror image. It says right here, motion pictures only. And then on the top, it says for motion picture purposes only. So pretty clear, but I mean, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty good. So anyway, I'll have these laying around, and could be fun for props here and there, or for thumbnails. I've seen those guys, and I could do one of these, like, maybe I throw it around, start swimming around in it or some kind of nonsense. But thank you to Vice Props. And honestly, I mean, these guys look to be, I don't know if they're drop shippers or what their situation is, but it's a super small shop, and they took a chance to reach out. They caught me in a charitable mood, and I was like, sure, I'll give you a shout out, and I can actually use some of this around as a prop, not as any sort of money usage, but I would almost venture, you could potentially use the 20s, but if you try to use 100 or 50, then people are going to, they're going to use the little marker and stuff like that. So, Finance Rocks is on, and Props We Trust. Is that what it says on the back? Oh yeah, it does. Good eyes. It says in Props We Trust. And quick shout out to Roxanne there on Finance Rocks. She was on the show recently, and I really enjoyed chatting with her. I'm going to have an interview on her channel pretty soon as well. So look out for that. And check out her channel. Roxanne, try to put a link to your channel if you have the ability to here, and I'll approve that. So here's the 20s, the ones that I could actually use out there, but I'm just kidding around here. They look pretty good. And for you, Roxanne, I mean, I think it fits the branding with your channel. You can order some of these too, and it's an expense. It's a write-off, as Kramer says. All right, what else are we talking about today? I see we do have some questions in, so let's switch cameras, and I can look at some of the questions. I do need to give a shout out to Niche Website Builders, because they sponsor this segment, and you can get 10% off. You can get 10% off if you order one of their link building packages. And I'm testing the Shotgun Skyscraper currently. You get an additional 10% of content if you get a content package, or if you order a site, which is pretty cool. So check them out, and we will start answering some questions here. Abhishek tells me it's 12 a.m. in India, and people actually stay up for this, which that's just amazing. Thanks a lot. I'm usually in bed for about 3 hours at that point. Mike Sims, what's up, man? It's been a little while. Hope you're doing well. InfoZone says you've been watching for years. You're a fan of KGR. Your site is pulling in 1,500 views a day. Amazing. Yeah, shoot me an email. Would love to see some screenshots on that. And however, you say you're only making $20 per day on AdSense and a little less on Amazon, but it all depends on the market. So I would say, 1,500 visitors per day is fantastic. And depending on the market, it just depends how much you're going to pull in. Mukesh says, it's your 5th month blogging. You have 60,000 total traffic, 30,000 organic, $300 from ads. Are you on the right track? Yes. I don't know any other details, but that seems good. You say 60,000 total traffic, and I don't know if that is total per month or total for the 5 months, $300 total, or $300 per day, or $300 per month, or some other interval. But I would say, sure, you're taking action, you're doing stuff, and that's great. Yash says, is it possible that if I publish 120 posts in 3 months, can you warm it up to $500? Yes, you can. I don't. Okay, I'll answer some of these general questions. If you ask if you can do something, you can do it. Yes. More accurately, a person could do it. Can you do it? Well, I don't know you or the resources that you have or the skills that you're bringing to the table, but it is possible. If you check out one of the videos recently with Charlie, he published some like 400 some odd posts in about 150 days, and he put in about $13,000 to do that. Also, I think his growth is slowly, catching up. So I think he made, maybe after 2 or 3 months, he made $75 that month, and then $175. And I have a feeling he's going to follow some very quick growth. Now, can you get up to $500 per month in 3 months? Yes, it is possible, but you would have to probably have skills ahead of time and put in a decent number of resources. That said, Charlie had money to spend and he works full time. So he had the money to put in. You don't have to do it that way. You could write the content yourself. Shahib says you have a niche that contains a lot of potential keywords. Fantastic. But those keywords have a lot of e-commerce sites. What should I do now? So you can go the e-commerce route, drop shipping if you want to, since you've selected that area, or you could find other keywords in the same niche that are not e-commerce sites. Or you can abandon the idea before you've wasted too much time and move on. Saeed says, how do you differentiate between topic research and keyword research? Is Google giving a preference to a page that covers a topic in a holistic manner over those that are targeting a specific keyword? I do not differentiate topic research and keyword research. I typically just go for keywords. As far as Google treating those in a different way, I think it probably depends on the topic and the set of keywords. So I'm pretty sure, like most things in SEO, you can find examples to prove whichever case you are trying to prove. So it just depends. And I don't know. I haven't heard the term topic research so much. It sounds like someone's maybe trying to shift what people are talking about, putting their own terminology on there. But I would say just do whichever one you feel more comfortable with. All right, and Johnny says you can do the money phone picture. All the rappers do. That's good. And I need to throw the money around before I start a live stream. Indeed. All right, let's see if there's any more questions. Okay, Usman says it's going to be your first site. Should you go for a niche site or a silo authority site? Okay, a lot of people get sort of hung up on the terminology here. Typically, when people are talking about a niche site or an authority site, they're just talking about an affiliate site, a content site that makes money from product reviews and or ads. A lot of times both. Maybe even selling your own products. Both of them are fantastic, and it's really just terminology. I recommend that you don't pigeonhole yourself into thinking about it in a narrow way. You should probably start a site so that you can grow it very big, and you have the option to grow it big. Okie dokie. Let's head over to, I think I have a clip that I can play. Let me check. Oh, just in general, niches. All right. and evergreen niches. So I interviewed Derek Bingham a few months ago. I actually need to check in to see how he's doing. But a lot of these questions are on like keyword research and niches and stuff like that. So I think this will probably be relevant. And Derek goes after, in general, he's looking for evergreen stuff. At least I think that's what this clip is. So let's roll it.
Not really. I look at this the sell volume. I look at how many products are selling. I'm looking at how hot that particular niche is, and whether or not it's a seasonal niche. And I also stay away from seasonal stuff. I know that there's great things about great opportunity in terms of selling high volumes of products for a particular niche in certain seasons, but that's just for the seasons. Like if you're selling anything dealing with water, like maybe swimming, not pool items or whatever the case may be, that's going to be just for that particular season. What about the rest of the year? So I try to stay out of that type of situation and put myself in a position where I have, evergreen products that's not seasonal. It's more or less it sells year round and it's consistently selling. So that's kind of where I put my mindset into those type of products and those type of niches. Yeah.
All right. So you don't consider search volume really at all. It sounds like you mainly look at products on Amazon and the trends and like Google trends. Is that how you're judging a trend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Go on to Google Trends, and I've been using that as one of my main tools in terms of my research on the niche and also as well as keywords. I
Okay.
use Google as well, just not just Google Trends, but Google. And there's a shopping area in Google that gives you some ideas of how, the product volume is going, what they're doing in terms of volume. So I use that as well.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, and this sounds, much different from, a lot of people in my sort of industry, my peers and colleagues and that sort of thing, where, keyword research is pretty important and you need to know that people are searching for it. So it sounds like because you're using trends, you do know that some people are searching for it because there's data there, right? And is there a
Right.
reason why you are omitting the search volume?
I just found that just looking at search volume, it kind of, it hasn't been too effective in terms of far as for my particular niche to give me an accurate estimate of like what that product might do in terms of the sales are concerned. And a lot of people they're looking just at the volume instead of looking at the, how much is selling. And I think when you start to change that, change your mind in terms of, your thinking rather in terms of, I just want a product that, a keyword that's showing me that it's high volume. It's just high volume and not looking at more data, more history, then you're gonna spend a lot of money and put a lot of work into something that might not give you the end result that you're looking to have. When you do the research and you put a little bit more effort into your keyword research and products, then you'll start to maybe realize, you know what, this product might only, it might only have a value of 50, but if you go into Google and look at the possibilities, you're using the KGR like Doug shows you properly, and you'll see, yeah, it's only 50 on the volume per month, but there might be only one or two sites competing with that, and you're doing your SEO properly, then you're going to pretty much own that keyword term, and you're gonna just basically sell better than someone else, and you're going to get the results that you're looking for. So it's more or less looking at the product value on how much it's selling and how popular it is. Again, that's going to give you the results that you're looking for. It's been working for me, and I'm going to probably keep doing that.
Cool. So that was Derek Bingham, and the full interview is available on the channel. So you can check it out. Just search for Derek. There's other clips out there too. So you could check those out. And I did see that we had another question. Sort of a follow-up. So Mukesh did mention that he's getting 60,000 visitors per month. He's making $300 per month, and that is with Ezoic. And shout out to Ezoic. They partially sponsor these live streams, so you can check out their site speed accelerator, which helps your site load faster. And I actually need to check with my contact over there because I want to mention other stuff too, not just the site speed accelerator. And the thing is, they have a pretty good blog over there with tons of great information. So I don't have the list of recent blog posts, but if you go to Ezoic and check out the blog, there's a link in the description here. They have cool information, and I've been on their channel a couple times. So if you head over to their channel and search for Doug, you can see my appearances over there. So if you really can't get your fix with all these other videos out there on my channel, and it's a good change up to have someone interview me, and you can hear what people ask me. So Mukesh asks, is it too low? Is $300 a month too low? It's a tech niche where you teach people to code. So that is outside my sort of area, but I would venture to guess that if you are an affiliate for courses that teach, that you may be able to make more money. I think you should look for digital products in some fashion. Courses are great. If there are software products that are related to the coding that you're teaching, then I think that's a better way. I mean, basically, ads are a great way to monetize if you have a lot of traffic to your site. But the fact is, I mean, it's going to be one of the lowest paying mechanisms. And if you can figure out, let me change cameras here, this thing. The webcam's kind of a piece of shit sometimes. Like it'll focus like 1 inch away or like get me out of focus over here. So this camera is much better. Basically, if you can sell products and be an affiliate or sell your own products, you're almost always going to make more money than ad revenue. Typically, when you see people that make money from ads, they have a shitload of traffic. I mean, 60,000 visitors a month is very good. That's a pretty good amount of traffic. Of course, we're seeing the problem here is like, depending on what it is, like you may or may not be earning a whole lot of money. I recently talked to someone who's getting a massive amount of traffic, and he's also earning a massive amount from display ads. But as I analyzed his site, I was like, man, you can monetize this so much better, man. Like there are so many little tweaks that we can make in the volume, just the sheer amount of traffic that this guy was getting. It's alarming. First of all, I bet his hosting is, fairly expensive just because he has so much traffic on his site. But just an email list on certain posts just to sell certain things because people are in for a high dollar amount based on the search query and the topic of that page. But the point is, you could probably make more if you're selling something else. And as far as, your particular niche and some of those other details, I don't know if that's a good amount because I haven't played in that space. But contact your Ezoic rep and see if they have any tips for you. Maybe they can lend a hand. Maybe you can put more ads on your site, for example. And we have, Justin's on. What's up? He's a friend of the show. He's been on a couple times. And Thomas says, what's going on, Thomas? If you finish a sentence with a keyword in it, will it count? Yes, I believe so. I'm not 100% sure I'm following your question, but if you use a word or phrase in your content, that is used. That does count indeed. Mohammed, what's going on? And then I think I said hello to everyone, but if I missed you, I'm sorry. So we got Jacob on too. And Mohammed says you have a general niche site. You have 69 articles, and that's over 7 months. And last month it hit $606. Great. Congratulations. That sounds fantastic. And the general niche site, that's another common question that I get. Should I do a site that has a whole lot of different products or just focus on one? I usually tell people to focus on one. I see a lot of sites where people try to recreate a top 10 style of like website, I guess, and they do terrible. They publish content and they're trying to compete with like the Wirecutter, and their content isn't very good. They publish 30, 50, 200 articles, and they end up just wasting all their time because Google doesn't have any idea what their site is about. But then I do see the occasional example where someone goes after very long tail keywords, usually KGR, keyword golden ratio, and it works out. Next, I see that Shahib, I skipped this question earlier, I think. On which perspective topical relevancy authority builds? It's a funny thing when you get questions, and sometimes I know all of those words individually, but that unique combination of words, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Can you rephrase that? And then you say, imagine a single product like a shoe, multiple sports, football and volley, and then number 2, single sport, football, and then multiple products, shoe and jersey. So I'm trying to figure out, and I think you're asking, should you do number 1 or number 2? A product site where you focus on like that product across a spectrum, or a single sport and just focus on the products and accessories related to that sport. I think I got what you're saying. I don't know. I think you just pick one and do it. I think you're like splitting hairs and it doesn't really matter. Personally, I would probably, let me put it in terms that I understand. Let's think alcohol. So you can create a site where you cover beer and wine, and spirits, cocktails, and different alcohol. That's cool. I'm into that. That makes sense to me. Then perhaps you have another site where you only cover beer. Now, personally, I would go for the beer one. And I think that means we're looking at option 2, football and all the accessories related to it. But when it comes down to it, it probably doesn't really matter. I think it's a personal preference. Perhaps the former example gives you more opportunity to branch out into other areas, but I could see the argument flipped and that the latter would actually give you more options because you could cover a single topic very deeply. So I would go for the beer one. Okay. Next. Vince, what's going on? And then Zulkarnain, that's a good name. Good name there. What do I recon? God damn it. What do I recon KGR technique in use in working, or do you prefer to use Google to get the keywords using other tools as well? What do I recon KGR? Okay, you'll have to rephrase that, or someone will have to translate that. Otherwise, a pretty good question, but I don't know what recon means in that context. Justin asks, have I noticed some of my posts de-indexing randomly? I have not noticed that, but I haven't looked. I got to be honest, I haven't looked for that specifically. So, Matt, Abraham, Justin, I take it you have seen that. If you want to lay it out, you can mention it here. Matthew says, and since we are answering questions, I will put up the niche website builders little banner here. And I interviewed one of the founders the other day. Super interesting story. I can't wait to publish the interview. Not sure when it's coming out, but sometime soon. I talked to Adam Smith, who has flipped websites. So he hasn't created one from scratch, but he has purchased them, gone through and optimized them with content, some technical SEO things, and then he sells them. He keeps them for a little while and sells them. He has kept some like here and there for cash flow purposes, but it's pretty cool to hear how he got started and all those details. In fact, we go through the specific set of activities he does when he buys a site, and it helps him identify sites that are a good purchase. Matthew says, how was my first year of blogging? Okay, so that's a good question there. That was back in 2013. My first year started in around April of 2013. Kind of rough for the first 3 months or so. I found my footing after that. So I would say months 3 through 8 or so were fantastic. I think this is my first affiliate site, my first successful sites, and I went from $20 a month, $80 a month, $150, $500, $2,000, and I think I may be skipping a step here, then like $3,600, and then $6,000. This was all within several months of me just getting started. And then one of my sites got penalized, so I went from like over 6,000 to like 100, like overnight. I was doing some gray hat activities back then. It was kind of the standard practice. So I was actually following people like Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, Spencer Hawes from Niche Pursuits, and I'm trying to think if there was any other prominent people who are still around now. I think those are sort of the main folks that I was following along with. And I was doing the stuff that they were teaching. I know Spencer has some sites penalized in that sort of time frame as well. I also started Niche Site Project, which got off to a pretty decent start because I was able to guest post and kind of be featured over at Niche Pursuits, and I kind of made the rounds with sort of the circle of internet marketers of that time who were just a little bit ahead of me. A lot of people fizzled out. It's pretty interesting to see, people start a blog, they talk about things, and then they stop. There's a few people who are still around. So you have John over at Authority Website Income, and Matt Allen over at Dumb Passive Income, and he's also co-creator of Amalinks Pro, which I'm an affiliate for. And then let's see, obviously Pat Flynn and Spencer Hawes are still around, but there were a number of people who kind of got started and then fizzled out pretty quickly, like within a year or two. And then I have seen some people stick around that actually sucked and don't really do any, like they never really figured out how to be a practitioner, and they just push affiliate deals, which is sort of sickening, but that is the other side of this make money online area. Another guy that got started is Ron Stefanski, which I've interviewed him a few times, good friend of mine. And I've interviewed him a few times on the channel here, and he publishes income reports, and you could see slow growth over time to the point where he was making a whole lot of money. I think he's pulling in roughly $20K per month at this point, profit. Okay, and then Matthew continuing on, so it was sort of up and down, and then when I got laid off in 2015, I decided to take all this stuff full time, so I was able to focus. I kind of spread myself too thin on too many areas of the business. As I realized what I didn't want to work on and whittled it away, I was able to focus and grow the business a lot more effectively. All right. As we are going through, Hussein says you're using KGR and you have posted 30 articles. Now you have 150 to 200 organic traffic from the US. Is it good or bad? You're getting traffic, so I say it's good. I vote for good. Dan, what's going on? Good to have you on. Thanks for joining in the chat. Justin says you were watching a video from Carl Broadbent talking about the May update de-indexing post, and you noticed some of the posts drop and they need to be re-indexed. Gotcha. You know what? And I think it may just be the sheer volume of content that I have out. I don't look or pay too much attention, but I guess it's possible. I mean, you're seeing it, but I haven't noticed it myself, but I haven't actually looked. Zol says, just to be clear, what do I think is better, the the KGR technique, or using Google with the help of other tools like Ahrefs? Here's the good part. You don't have to choose. It's not mutually exclusive. You can use all of them, and I encourage you to use all of them. Formulaic says, how do you ensure you get quality content articles when you outsource the content? You should edit or review all of the content, especially early on. If it doesn't meet your quality standards, then you have to communicate clearly to whoever's doing the writing, give them feedback on what you need to improve. This is really what you have to do as a manager when you have people working for you. So you need to tell them what you expect. You need to make it very clear. It should be very easy to understand. The expectations are matched up when you do that, when you communicate clearly. If it's not clear and they're just doing what they think is the best way to do it, you can't blame them and if you don't give them instructions. So you need to give them feedback. If they're not meeting your expectations, make sure your expectations are the same. Communicate well. And then if they're not meeting your expectations after they should be and they know what to do, then you fire them. And then you find someone that can do a good job. Like niche website builders are kicking ass for me right now. They're publishing about 28,000 words of content per month. I have a standing order, and they're doing a great job with the shotgun skyscraper campaign they are running. I need to do a video on that solely. At this point, it's about 2 months in. I have, I believe, 7 backlinks, and the average domain rating as reported by Ahrefs is around 69. It's very high, much higher than we expected, than I expected, than they expected. And I think it may average down a little bit, but there will be more links and hopefully very relevant links as well. Bonnie says, what's the transition process for your affiliate accounts when you sell a site? Hopefully you're selling it to an experienced person so that they'll be able to sort of guide you through the process a little bit. In general, I'm going to just shoot off the top of my head here, but in general, it's slightly complicated, but you would make sure that they have, I don't want to go through too much here, but you make sure that they see proof of the earnings and the traffic. Usually there's a screen share situation. That's an easy way to tell. So, I mean, people can doctor up images and stuff, but if you're screen sharing on a live, Skype call, then you're able to do that. You end up transferring the domain name over via the registrar. They usually wire you money, and there could be an escrow involved. That's totally fine, who acts as an intermediary, protecting both parties. Typically, you'll change over the affiliate links, or the new owner will change over the affiliate links. Hopefully, it's very easy if you used a specific plugin where you just go to one spot, change the tracking ID, and then it makes it very easy. If there are multiple affiliate programs, there will be a lot more to do because you'll have to update those links. If you don't use an affiliate sort of management plugin or system, and you can't just change it in one place, you can do this programmatically by editing the database. It's fairly straightforward. You could just search and replace the old tracking ID with the new tracking ID. Typically, there's a transition period where the new owner verifies the traffic and earnings to make sure it matches up with what was going on before and what they expect. That could be anywhere from 5 to 14 days. Usually after, I would say 7 days is pretty much sufficient, even 5 days, once they see traffic's coming in from the sources they expect and they see earnings coming in as well. I mean, that's all you really need to do. Good question. There's more to it, Bonnie, and I actually talked about it at length with Adam Smith because he's flipped many sites and sold many and purchased many of them. Great questions today, keeping me busy here. So quick note and I'm not sure if the owner of the website popped on, but Vice Props sent me some props for, I mean, this money looks so freaking real. Sorry, I've got the teleprompter up there. So it's for movie picture purposes only and props we trust. But from back over here, well, if it focuses on me, it just looks like real money. Like it just looks like it sounds real. Sounds good right there. And Bonnie, you can check out the you could go to niche website builders, the link in the description, and there's some blog content. I think Adam has a couple of case studies sort of noted there. So anyway, Vice Props sent me these cool props. It looks like it's just a small business, and I don't know if they reached out to a ton of people, but they caught me at a charitable mood. So I linked up to them, and now I have all this cool prop money to make me look like an asshole. So that's fantastic. That is just what I need in the make money online space. I need, and I have these bands. It's all taped up still, but I have these bands so I can have a stack of money. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to do here. I think it could be good for B-roll, and I could shoot my own B-roll with this stuff. And I'm envisioning some sort of rolling around in it. I'm not quite sure who or when that'll happen or where, but I mean, that's why we have it. I think I need more. Send me more of this stuff. I want to roll in it. Okay. Next. Salas says, do I still suggest us to build an Amazon affiliate site in 2020? Sorry if you've been asked before, but you're new here. I love it when new people are here. That's fantastic. Hit the subscribe button, all that nonsense. Watch other videos. I suggest you aim for a niche that gives you the ability to sell products from Amazon, to sell products from other affiliate programs, of which there are hundreds and many, many thousands of other affiliate programs. Generally, if there's a company who's trying to sell stuff on Amazon, they sell it somewhere else too, sometimes directly. And usually they want you to work with them directly and not through Amazon, because they're typically going to earn more if they sell it directly versus going through Amazon. It costs money to use Amazon fulfillment and that sort of thing. So the other sort of the missing piece is digital products. So if you can find digital products like courses or software that fit within your niche, then that is what you should aim for. The best thing is Amazon converts so well that I still recommend that it be one of the first, if not the very first affiliate program that you sign up for. People just buy stuff on Amazon. If you can get people to Amazon and they're kind of interested in buying something, they're probably going to buy something. All right. Minaj says you have a limited budget for content. How to start link building as a beginner. So I recommend that you watch the videos. Oh, and for the new people, go to nichesiteproject.com/FAQ, and there are frequently asked questions, basically almost all the ones that we answered today, in text form. I don't give you a 500-word answer when I can give you a 100-word answer. So I just answer the question. nichesiteproject.com/FAQ. While you're there, you should sign up for the email list where I send you all my templates and point you towards great content. So how do you start link building as a beginner? Go to the video that I did on link building, but in general, you'll want to network within your niche. I recommend blog commenting, and I also recommend guest posting, but there are many other ways to approach it. Justin says, with niche website builders and the skyscraper campaign, do you have to pay for placement fees for the links? Very good question. You don't pay for them directly. They won't ask you for more money. They build in a specific budget based on your plan, and they sometimes pay a placement fee. A lot of times they're called like admin fees for the links. So they don't ask you for any money. It's a flat fee per month, and it has been working out quite well for me. Karen, what's going on? You're a bit late to the party. That's cool. Vince says, do I use any affiliate plugins to manage the links. So Vince, yeah, I do a couple. They're my friends, right? So I'm testing out their plugins. Number one, I use Pretty Links. All right. That is maybe what I would recommend. I use the free version and I manage links over on Niche Site Project. So when you look in the description below, you'll see there are links that are nichesiteproject.com/whatever. Makes it very easy for me to just manage the link in one place. And then I can use it throughout everywhere. And then if an affiliate program changes or something happens, I can just point them in the different direction that I need to and link to the proper spot. As far as other plugins, usually specific to Amazon affiliate, I use Amalinks Pro. Again, friend of the founders. And then Lasso, friend of the founder, Matt Giovanisi. I think if you're looking at just sticking with Amazon, that Amalinks Pro is a great option. I think if you're using other affiliate programs or you plan to, that Lasso gives you more flexibility. I think in the long run, both of them end up costing about the same if you're looking at sort of 1 to 2 years. I can't remember the exact pricing. The thing with Lasso is that it is a paid per month tool. So I think it's $20 a month, roughly. And I'm using it on my new site. It gives a very nice layout for like a feature box. I know Amalinks Pro is I think they just rolled out their new sexy boxes. And I think, those are just superficial things, but in a lot of ways, because these sort of plugins have been around for years, at this point, I'm almost looking at them as a commodity. All right. So hosting, what are some other examples? Hosting, email service providers, these affiliate plugins. Like, honestly, again, those guys are my friends and I know them on a personal level. And there's no groundbreaking shit going on. It's just redirecting, and there's some simple CSS to do these feature boxes. Like, you can hire someone on Upwork and within a day tell them, hey, go make the same feature boxes as, give them a website, give them the Wirecutter, give them some other website. And you could just tell them, hey, mock up the CSS for this and I want to use it on my site. Tell me how to use it. That's it. There's no crazy innovation happening here. At least as far as I could tell, there's no crazy innovation happening. It's just a tool. They're out there. Maybe you like the interface for some of them better than others. I could be wrong. I think certain areas, maybe they do a little better. Amalinks Pro does do a little better. I think just working with Amazon, I think Lasso has a little deeper analytic capability, but they're kind of equivalent, and I should do just a mashup video, not a mashup, but I should do a comparison video where we just look at what they do. And I actually don't like learning new things. I think there's another plugin out there from another friend. He was on the show last week, Brady, and they have, I think it's another affiliate plugin. And I'm like, this has been done. I've solved these problems already. Like, the problem's solved. I don't need to solve it in a different way. Yes, in some fashion, I'm like, I need to cover new tools because it is my area and I should be informed. But I don't want to do new stuff and learn new things. Justin says, don't become a deadbeat affiliate. That guy's crushing it though, isn't he? Let's see. All right, we have Matthew says, did I get the special Amazon rates for October? If they sent out an email, I saw an email come through and I'm behind on email. Confession. Shahib says, go to Fiverr and see how many people or blah, blah, blah. And I'm not even going to mention it here. I have a feeling, are you offering the service? Because I've had people do that. And yeah, I don't know. Icer says, WordPress light themes recommendation for maximum speed and better ranking. So I like Focus, the Focus WordPress theme. I don't know if I have a link in here. I also like Carbonate, but Carbonate doesn't have any support, unfortunately. Let me just check here. Oh, and I do need to I gave a shout out to Formula earlier, and I took my Clarity stack. There's a link. I'm an affiliate for any of the stuff that I mentioned. There's a link in the description there. I do take it, I mentioned 4 to 6 times per week, but it's probably closer to like 4 to 8. I have been taking it more recently. And I just got a box here. Formula for Doug. It is the nootropics that I take. And, you know, if you're thinking of dabbling in nootropics and you're like, hey, I don't know what to take, head over there. You do a short survey, and then they'll recommend, usually there's 4 boxes in here that you can, you know, they're for different things based on what you're looking for and what you need help with. And as I notice, I actually don't have a link for Focus, but if you go to nichesiteproject.com/thesis, that is where that information is. And that's like the fast theme, very feature rich. And if you go to Niche Site Project, like that's the theme that I'm using there. As far as better rankings, if your site is loading like very, very slow, you may see an improvement in rankings, but just in general, I wouldn't say like, hey, as soon as you make your site faster, you're going to improve in rankings. It's usually sort of an indirect cause and effect situation. 24/7 says, I'm late. Elementor was doing a great talk about a firm design. I'm not sure the context of that, other than maybe you were just late because you were doing something else. Okay. Vincent says, for a new site, does rank improve over time, or do you need to update content and produce more content for ranking to go up? You should check out a recent video about the sandbox. All right, so I should have that. I may be able to find that for you here. Great questions this week, by the way. I'll find that link for you. But basically, your site probably will move up in the rankings over time. However, I do recommend that you go back and update content and produce more content just as an ongoing thing. That is the best case scenario. And there was a recent video that I did, how long to get traffic in Google, how long to rank in Google, and is the sandbox real? Let me put the link in here for you. I'll get this shareable link, and then you could watch that and you could comment on it. Watch the whole thing. I tried really hard to do a better. I'm trying to do better with these videos. So Minaj says, what should be social media strategy for a niche site? So I don't like social media personally, and I've actually been systematically trying to like make my phone bother me less. So because of that, I don't mess with it because I don't enjoy it. So I'll just defer to anyone in the crowd here. If you want to mention what you do for social media, that would be fine. I think what would be the most effective is to actually look at it like a brand. Like if you were starting a company, what would you do? How would you network with your peers out there? How would you partner? And that probably is sort of the first step in networking and link building within your niche. So I would actually treat it organically. Karen said, what do I think about the free Ahrefs? Do I think it's a genuine promotion of their tool, or they're trying to get more keyword data? You know what? I saw this promo going on or this new release. I don't know for sure. I haven't looked at it. I check out the paid version currently. I would say it's probably both. I think it's great for them to get more keyword data, and it's a really smart way to do it. And I think it's probably bringing some value for folks. Oh, and Justin, 100%, the deadbeat super affiliate seems like a real, you know what, I'll leave it at that, and you can fill in your own blanks there. I'm pretty sure at least when I was paying attention, I was like, this information is so old. And I heard from some of his students that it was indeed like very old information that he was just selling over and over again. But an effective marketer, I don't know the guy. I tried to reach out to him in the beginning and he like blew me off and was kind of he wasn't super polite. But he seems to do great, probably with a younger demographic that are, into his approach. Zolquarnon says he lists several different themes and which is the best theme in terms of speed and better ranking. The answer is I don't know. I haven't used all of those, and it doesn't really matter. Just don't get a super shitty one. I have a post over on Niche Site Project and I think probably a couple of videos, but I will stick with a recommendation to use a premium theme like the Focus WordPress theme by DIY Themes. Chris Pearson created it. He was recently on the podcast as a rebroadcast, and he offers great support. It's a very fast theme. So as far as the cheaper and or free ones, you're not just going to get better ranking like automatically. Like there's some default sort of speed probably. I think the ones that you mentioned, I think the base WordPress theme and Astra, those I've heard those are pretty fast, but it's simple enough to test. You can just load sort of a default blog post, homepage, see how they do a speed test, put in another one, see how they rank together. You could probably find this info somewhere. In fact, little tip for anyone who wants to write a post on that, I'm pretty sure if you did speed test and shared your data, it would not only rank as a video on YouTube, but you could rank it as a blog post. Sandeep says, how should a new blogger prepare himself for Black Friday? Start as soon as possible. And I never did anything new or different for Black Friday. Astra and Generate Press are good fast themes. Yep. And I know Generate Press is very fast as well, just from the default. I think they have some skins that are very fast, but your themes with Elementor Pro. And 24/7, I think maybe you're asking someone else, so I'll just skip that. And we'll start wrapping it up here. Justin says, with my experience with content writers, do I prefer agency writers, freelancers, or SEO writers? So it depends on what I'm trying to do. Some of the big agencies that I've worked with were shitty as far as project management, and that is part of that is what they should do. They should make it easy and manage the writers. I shouldn't have to double check what's going on. The thing is, with some agencies, they keep a tighter rein and they actually can do the project management, like Niche Website Builders. And I guess they are SEO writers, but I do view Niche Website Builders as just an agency that does things that we need as niche site owners. Freelancers are usually way cheaper for the quality that you get. However, you usually have to layer in more editing. You have to do a little bit more on your end, and there's more admin to deal with. With Niche Website Builders, I have an order in there. They send me keywords to be approved. I say yes or no. We tweak it a little bit, and then they draft everything, and it's amazing how quick everything happens. I don't really have to do anything. With the freelance writers, it's cheaper per word. However, it takes more admin from me, so it depends on what you're trying to do. If you also need like a whole lot of content fast, an agency sometimes can just deliver an insane amount quickly. That's very interesting, especially with and I'll leave everybody sort of with a thought here, and you could leave comments and let me know in the chat. But one interesting thing is to work on an expired domain or an existing blog, right? An existing blog that never expired. Those expired domains or blogs may have backlinks going to them, making them sort of, especially if it's never been expired, you kind of skip the sandbox, which is really amazing. Refer back to the video that I just shared in the chat. And you could get an expired domain and then publish a lot of content, say 100,000, 200,000 words in a very short time frame, and then you potentially could end up with a lot more traffic than if you publish that on a brand new blog. If people are interested in hearing about expired domain case studies, please let me know. I know there are some people that have been doing this with great success. I usually avoid the topic because it is relatively advanced. However, as I get bored talking about the same stuff all the time, and I started chatting with people like Shauna Newman at Skip Blast and John Murphy, who's a drop shipper, they're doing advanced things, and I realized that I really enjoy talking about those advanced topics. And I thought, well, I can cover whatever I want to cover, so why don't I just cover the super interesting advanced things as well? So one of those is working on an existing domain that has a backlink history to skip the sandbox. There's risk involved, and that's why I tell people often to just avoid it. Like if you're asking like, hey, should I build on an expired domain? You probably don't have the skills yet to pick a domain that is good to build on. And there's still risk involved on top of that. So Vincent says case studies would be great. And yeah, cool. And I'll finish up here. Shout out again to, man, my voice is going to die here. How can I mute this? Let's mute. Recorded a podcast today, and I think I just talked too loud. I could just get closer and talk creepier. Some people will like this, and others won't. All right. Minaj says, do we also need to produce videos for Amazon affiliate sites? You don't need to, but you can. 24/7 Marketing says, what are reasonable costs for getting content written today? Oh, I saw your question. Thanks for watching that video from a couple years ago. Much appreciated. And reasonable cost today, I would say for roughly 1,000 words, if you're hiring a freelancer directly, 1,000 words, about $20, 2 cents a word. If you do that math, you can multiply it out. And the other thing is, as you delegate and get rid of more of the tasks like project management, or if you're working with an agency, the price will go up, but you'll do less work, which is nice. So if you have time, or if you have the money, then you can buy back some of your time. So I would say like $20 is sort of the bottom, and then it goes on up. It's kind of unlimited how much you can spend. Karen says that you enjoyed the Skip Blast interview with Shauna Newman. Shauna is great, super smart, doing very interesting things. And last little thing is Justin mentions you have some friends that have done some work with expired domains, and one tip is to make a second site and let it age because it can be hit or miss with the domains. Indeed, that is one of the tricks. Sometimes you get a site and you don't know that there's some underlying issue with it. And as we finish up here, I should have mentioned this earlier, but maybe I'll mention it again some other time. I have Site Growth Plan. Justin's actually a student in that course, Site Growth Plan. There's a link in the description. So if you have a site and it is, I would say, at least 3 months old and you're looking to get more traffic, earn more money, and increase conversions, you can check out that course. It's very concise. It gets to the point. I think there are, I can't remember, 3 to 4 units in there, and it helps you prioritize exactly what you should work on when. There's a couple, nice over-the-shoulder sort of tutorials in there. Additionally, if you're just getting started, there's a full flagship course where I go over starting a site from scratch. That is multi-profit site, kind of highlights what I mentioned before, working on finding a niche that has physical products on Amazon, things away from Amazon, digital products like courses, and software products. You can get some great commission rates on those. Additionally, this is a new mini announcement. I buried this way in the back here, but I'll be talking about it more. I will have a link building course coming out on using Haro. That's Help a Reporter Out. That is coming out very soon. I've been shooting video for the last couple of days. Another reason why my voice is shot. And my editor has it now. So it'll be coming out very soon, few weeks, and progress is going well, and it will be amazing. I've had great luck with it. I'm doing some kind of interesting, unconventional things. I share all the templates that I'm using. I share the techniques. I give you tips on hiring a VA to do this for you. I had a guest on the show, Anthony, and he was able to outsource the process. He was able to do it successfully and basically get links for very, very cheap, extremely cheap, and essentially outsourced 90% of the process. So that is one of the full units on how to outsource it. Of course, you can't do it right off the bat, but it's going to be a cool course. Last couple questions. Need Fishin says, what affiliate table maker do I recommend so you can compare prices and So I would go with number one choice is an HTML table generator and not mess around with a plugin. However, if you must do that, I think Lasso does this the best. However, you won't be able to display the price of the other website. The alternative that I can give you is working with I guess it's sort of a plugin, but work with Genius Link, and they have what is called choice pages. Mo Fishin, you should watch the interview that I have with Jesse Lakes from Genius Link, and you should also just search on my channel for choice pages. I'm pretty sure I have a video of Jesse demonstrating that, but essentially what happens is a person clicks a link on your site, they go to a Genius Link page where the product is displayed and the different affiliate programs are listed there. It gives the user, the visitor, the option to click on whichever one and they can check the price. So that's a way to do it. And Minaj says, how many niche sites do you have? I have a few, less than 10, more than 3. Kelly, you just jumped on, but you missed it and you love the KGR. Thanks for teaching that. Cool. If you have any results, shoot me an email, Doug@nichesiteproject.com. I have a meeting, so I do have to go. Thanks everyone for hopping on and joining me today.